Kenya Airways has just turned 40 years. Kenya's national carrier was established in 1977 after the disbandment of the East African Airways. East Africa Airways was jointly owned by Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. Since its first flight, Kenya Airways has grown by leaps and bounds. Popularly known as the Pride of Africa, perhaps the question is, will it be the pride of the sky? Join me as I embark on a journey to find out how Kenya Airways has spent 40 years. But first is happy birthday to Kenya Airways.
Kenya Airways turning 40. I just want to say congratulations for the amazing 40 years. And I just want to say I believe in you. I believe in Kenya Airways, and I believe in a God that will sustain this airline for years and centuries to come. Thank you for supporting the farmers. Thank you so much for supporting all these families. Thank you so much for supporting people and supporting families and supporting our economy. May God bless you so much. Thank you. I am size 8. Nasema hamko pale pale, but Mungu anawapeleka kule mnafaa kuenda. Bye.
Happy birthday to KQ. They just turned 40, and that's a big deal because life begins at 40. That is what they say. And so, let me call myself KQ. As KQ, welcome. We just started.
Kenya Airways' first plane was Boeing 707-320 and was wet leased from the British Midland Airways. It came with its own crew, insurance and maintenance arrangement. It was decorated with Kenya Airways colors and was delivered just within 2 weeks. Pauline Karanja and Peter Kinyanzui have served Kenya Airways for over 40 years. They were there when the first plane landed in Kenya. Looking back, what does Pauline think about Kenya Airways today?
Kenya Airways, I want to remind you that you are the pride of Africa. You wear your uniform with pride. Whatever skills you have acquired, please utilize them with pride, knowing that it is that skill that is going to take us to the next 40 years and beyond.
Born in Makueni County, Kenya, in a family of 9, Captain Peter Kinyanzui pursued his dream following his mom's encouragement. While tilling the land with his mom, a plane was flying above them, and his mom told them, "You see, you children of the poor are being tamed by the children of the rich, who are flying above you when you are tilling the land." After hearing that, Peter made up his mind to be a pilot when he grew up. And the rest is history, as Peter today has a record of 25,000 hours of flying.
Happy birthday, Kenya Airways. I look forward for another 40 years. As much as I might not be here to celebrate, I'll look forward to witness it.
In France at the same time, Dennis Piet worked as Kenya Airways area manager. Going down the memory lane, we see him with the first Kenya Airways chairman, Mr. Eliud Mathu, receiving guests during the Paris inaugural reception in 1978. We can see him also with his colleagues in management and others. And lastly, the first Kenya Airways Airbus A310-300, known as the Nyayo Star, in 1978. Today, Alphonse Kioko is the CEO of Gillian Hotel in Machakos County, Kenya. He joined Kenya Airways as a management trainee in April 1989. After 2 years, he was taken to Dubai as area manager. Later, he became the general manager for Middle East and Asia. Mr. Kioko rose through the ranks to be the CEO of Precision Air, which Kenya Airways owned half of its shares.
So I look back at Kenya Airways with nostalgic feelings. We have many people who have gone through Kenya Airways. Many people have depended on Kenya Airways. I can say, for example, that I am what I am because of Kenya Airways. And of course, businesses do have some challenges. As we all know that Kenya Airways is now experiencing some tough times. It's headwinds, of course, they push the business down. But I can tell you that out there are many people who wish Kenya Airways well. I think all of us look back at this great airline. It was there, how it started, how it grew, the people who contributed to making it great. And we only wish that we go back to those days because we have a lot of talents out there. We have people who can also contribute even to date, but perhaps they could be given a chance.
We are at Kenya Airways headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. Everybody goes through tight security to access the venue for celebrations. Dancers do what they do best. Stage is not your usual cabin crew giving instructions on how to stay safe while in the plane, but Kenya's renowned comedian Eric Omondi.
Technical failure. Cabin crew stand by for manual demonstration.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand up for the demonstration. In case of an emergency, there are 6 emergency exits on this aircraft, which are clearly marked. 2 are located at the front of the cabin, 2 at the rear, and 2 in the middle of everything. In case of an emergency, the lights will come on. Please indicate them. In case of a decompression,
ladies and gentlemen, I was just making sure. Like models. Something happened. This is true story. This is true story. Yeah, they always on point. This is what happened when they were coming to us to give us the instruction.
Chris Diaz has been the marketing director of Kenya Airways, and he now shares with us the brand's journey of 40 years.
Over 3,000 staff celebrated turning 40. Celebrations carried on for the rest of the next 12 months.
Our fantastic staff of Kenya Airways, our partners, KLM, McKinsey, everyone. Welcome and good afternoon to you. We had some great celebrations yesterday at the airport and we had a lot of fun together. Mine is to share with you bright moments as Kenya Airways celebrates its 40 years as a brand. In 1977, Kenya Airways was born. At that time we had a few aircrafts, DC-10, Fokkers, and then Kenya Airways went on to invest in the 707 Boeing aircrafts. I'm very proud to say that together with all the staff over the years, we have given a great and amazing brand experience to millions of guests across the world. In 1994, Kenya Airways was privatized, and in 1996, we joined with KLM as our shareholders, and we were on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. In 2004, as many of you will remember, Kenya Airways had a state-of-the-art 777-200 aircrafts, and we had the brilliant opportunity to share internally and externally in flying our guests to London, Amsterdam, and long haul with the 777-200. In 2005, Kenya Airways got IOSA certification as a brand. We were the first in Sub-Saharan Africa as an African airline, and this was proud moments for all of us. In 2007, we became associate members of the Global Alliance Sky Team, and in 2010, Kenya Airways became a full member, and we're very proud as the only African airline in the Sky Team to be able to connect to over 1,000 cities in 180 countries. We then invested in a lot of new product development, and I'm proud to say between 2013, all of us worked very hard together, and we achieved World Travel Awards consecutively up to 2016, and we are defending this in our 2017 evaluations, and it was voted by our millions of guests best airline in Africa for the business class. We had great joy in 2016 as a team to achieve as brand experience recognized by our customers best airline in Africa. After 22 years, we removed South African Airlines and became the best airline in Africa. I think we should give ourselves a big hand. Kenya Airways remains the most important brand for this country, for this region, in bringing a lot of tourists. We bring the highest number of tourists into Kenya. We work closely with the government of Kenya, with Kenya Tourism Board and Brand Kenya, and each one of us is a brand ambassador, not only for Kenya Airways and for the country. We should feel very important to be part of this great nation, Kenya, and to be able to be working for Kenya Airways. With these few words, I'd like to extend congratulations to each one of you. To our staff, you are resilient, you are the best, and we respect your talent. Keep the flag high, and on behalf of everyone, thank you very much. I thank all of you for what you did yesterday, for the team, and for the many years ahead. I wish success for Kenya Airways, and thank you very much, marketing team. All the best.
Entertainment continues with Kenya's gospel artist, Willie Paul. Without a doubt, Kenya Airways cabin crew stands out by the way they dress. As they continue with celebration here in Nairobi, they showcase how their dressing style has changed with times.
Wearing the pattern green with the red standard football in the early 90s. Evelyn tells me she loves playing drums and gathering fruits. Rainbow Jamani, Evelyn! Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, yes, Kabisa. And now we have Elaine. Elaine, what she's doing, showcasing a safari suit that was introduced in the late 90s. Safari has been and has always been a very major event in Kenya. Come on, Elaine, work that safari suit. Elaine enjoys hiking and desert safaris. And now we have our very own supermodel of the world, Miss Beatrice. Come on, Beatrice. Naomi Campbell has nothing on this girl. I told you, beat your heart out, Melania Trump. Supermodels are born and raised in Africa. What Beatrice is wearing was born also in the 90s. It's a red skirt. It's a red shirt with brown skirt. It was primarily for Europe because of considered it was warmer. Asante sana Beatrice. If my wife was here, she could have said, I want that in every color. Red, green, yellow, blue, purple. I see London, I see France, and now I'm seeing double. This is Marion and Sheila. This is one of the best uniform Kenya Airways have had. I kamatia chini. Asante sana Marion and Sheila. And now we have our very own Christine. Check the lighting in that trench coat. Hi, Christine. still enjoys eating ice cream, long romantic walks, and skydiving. Some of these hobbies, I don't know where they get them from. Pristine. I would say also, like my wife, I want one in every color. Indian, Hispanic, Asian, West African. Come through, Irene and Mario. This is what we are nowadays. It's when we move from tropical Africa to just simply African because we are an African airline. And oh, there you go. Warembo jamani wana vitisho. Vilipoli kwa wapi wale haya. And what she is wearing, it's what we wear on our local flights. This is a very beautiful cocktail shirt that welcomes you into Africa, into Kenya, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, zote. Irene, Atembea. And now we have our very Denise, our flight passer. She's been there, she still is. She's a very good role model. Denise, tunakuona. Young ladies have nothing on this one. Denise. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our uniform for the past 25 years. And now Warembo, come through. Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I told you once, I'm going to tell you again. Now may campers and their blinds, they have nothing on that girl. That is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Asanteni sana. And lastly, we have our very own Eric Omondi. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
While in the spirit of celebrations, Kenya Airways drops its air ticket prices by 40%.
I'd like to talk to you a bit about the Super promo. It's quite difficult, after all that energy and beauty, for me to be here on stage. I'll give it my best shot. So this is sort of an informative session, but also with a certain call for action. So what we've done, I hope you've all seen the Daily Nation that had this page that was out there yesterday, already announcing our promotion, celebrating our 40 years, and also saying, yes, it's our birthday, but you get the gifts.
And in Nairobi, nothing has been spared for fun.
Team we are by doing a small exercise. So when I say mingle, just walk around, okay? Mingle. We just walk around. For the point to mingle. Go to town and mingle. That is mingle.
Outgoing Kenya Airways CEO Mbuvi Ngunze shares the moment and thereafter calls Michael Joseph, the current chairman, to speak.
The world to Africa. But for me, it's even more important to just recognize and credit those pioneers of Kenya and Kenya Airways from those days gone for their leadership and for their foresight. Those many individuals, those partners and organizations who have been an integral part of getting us to where we are today. Being privileged also to have two of our pioneers from that journey, Captain Kinyanzui and Load Control Manager Pauline Kamal, who have been here since inception. In fact, I believe, Captain, when I was reading your story yesterday, you said you joined in 1975, and Pauline, 1976, a long time ago. I was in standard 4 or 5, somewhere around there. It's fantastic that you were able to be here so many years later. KQ's existence, as Chris mentioned, was from the folding up of East African Airways. The first flight of Kenya Airways was on 4th of February, 1977. That's a long time ago. With 6 aircraft, 4 owned that were from the East African Airways and 2 leased from British Midlands. And the story, you all have read and you all know it the developments through the 80s and 90s and into the 2000s. But today, what I want just to emphasize and celebrate is where we are on the journey ahead. Today, and we forget to recognize this every day, and Miracle, thank you for reminding us, that we need to put our best foot forward. We carry more than 11,000 passengers every day. We have more than 160 takeoffs and landings in our network. We are probably the largest restaurant in Kenya, serving more than 10,000 meals on board. We fly to 54 destinations in Africa, but through the network of partners connect to more than 1,000 other destinations across the world. Dick will always remind me that I must talk about cargo. 160 tons of cargo every day in our bellies of different types of cargo. At September last year, at the half year, we had, even despite the fact that we had 7 fewer wide-body aircrafts, carried 2.2 million passengers across our network, the highest ever KQ has carried, even in a tough time. When I speak and I get a lot of interview questions on a regular basis, the one thing that I never forget to say is that Kenya Airways is the anchor to the largest aviation hub in this region, creating economic transformation not only for Kenya, not only for East Africa, but for Africa, and to a large part connecting Africa to the world. We need to be proud of these achievements, even in tough times. We need to stand up and be counted and wear those uniforms, wear those badges with such pride that even when we are asked tough questions in a tough environment, we can still stand up and defend KQ. That is my rallying call to all of you, and that is what Operation Pride is all about.
I'll try and be brief, just say this. When I was at Safaricom, I always envied the CEO of Kenya Airways. I always wanted that job. I actually wanted a movie star. So when I was asked to be chairman of KQ, I really didn't hesitate too long that I could actually be part of this fantastic organization that does such great things. Of course I had misgivings about, can we do this? Can we turn the airline around? And so I spent the last few months wandering around the airport. Some of you may see me. Sometimes I'm not, as you can see, I'm not a very positive, I'm not a very outgoing person, I'm quite shy. But I wandered around the airport, I've been around your offices, talked to many of you. And one thing I know is that with the team that is in KQ, with your spirit, with your team spirit, with your enthusiasm, with your dedication, we can turn this airline around, for sure. I started Safaricom in 2000 with 5 people, and it grew to a very big organization. Here you have already a huge cadre of people, staff, knowledgeable, competent. Actually, I spent some time here in the hangars and back office there, and I was so impressed as a novice, because I know how to sit in an airplane and to eat your food and drink your wine, but behind the scenes I didn't know how good you are at this job. And you are really good at this job, and you are world class. So
celebrations come to an end here in Nairobi. I prepare for another ride back to London aboard the Dreamliner. This is London Heathrow Airport, and here we have one of the Kenya Airways Dreamliners, the latest in the aviation industry. The security is very tight, but we have been cleared by the security to come this far. I am with my colleague Josiah Kimani. A Dreamliner plane is super fast. It can fly for 8,000 miles non-stop at a speed of 640 miles an hour. It offers great comfort. Its windows are 30% bigger than ordinary planes and has capacity to change the ambience from inside the plane with changing colors just to welcome a new day. This Dreamliner is named after Kenya's Great Rift Valley, and it is equally beautiful, just like the valley. Kenya Airways' first Dreamliner from Kenya to Paris was flown by Irene Kokimutungi. She made history by becoming the first female Dreamliner captain in Africa.
Well, Kenya Airways is not just about flying people from one city to another, one country to another. Kenya Airways has been doing a lot of other things behind the scene, and one of them is sponsoring Kenya's national team for rugby. And this is the place they have been coming in London, Twickenham Stadium in London, and it is this place where they have won so many matches, where they have given Kenya a reason to be proud of them. And credit to Kenya Airways for sponsoring them. Their performance in this very stadium is still memorable and will carry on to be remembered for the very many years to come.
I'm still on a journey exploring the 40 years spent by Kenya Airways. Today I'll meet with Kenya's ambassador to the UK, His Excellency Lazarus Amayo. I'm here to find out his experience with Kenya Airways.
Kenya Airways uplifts daily out of Nairobi approximately 116 tons of cargo, a large number being horticultural products and flowers. That is a significant contribution towards our external trade. If you take the case of the United Kingdom, which is the largest export destination outside East Africa, or outside Africa for that matter, the Kenya Airways, by its daily flights, the cargo that it brings to the UK and out of the UK to Kenya, is a major contributor to our bilateral trade. So yes, Kenya Airways is a significant partner, and its input goes a long way in enhancing our bilateral trade. Not only carrying them, but also for timely arrival of the produce, particularly the fresh produce. Yeah.
And again, on the same, you have contribution towards the farmers in Kenya. We talked about the flowers, but actually, as Kenya Airways celebrates 40 years, they are talking about being the largest restaurant in Kenya, because they claim in a day they feed about 11,000 people, and that's just on the plane. But the key point is all the produce, all the milk, everything is coming from Kenyan farmers. What would you say that does to?
By feeding 11,000 passengers or people out of the flights from Nairobi, that has a direct correlation to the income of our farmers. In essence, you're saying the produce is from Kenya, so they're buying from the farmers, so that in a way creates wealth for the farmers as well as employment. You realize agriculture is a major contributor to our GDP, and even for source of employment, as well as the export that originate from Kenya. So yes, Kenya is a major player in the sense that apart from transporting the produce, it is also a customer to the produce from Kenya, from the farmers, yes. Kenya Airways has very modern, very young aircrafts, and including, of course, the Dreamliners you're talking about, with, of course, highly skilled labor force whose service delivery is next to none. It is our desire that the airline continues to recruit, train and retain highly skilled human resource for it to remain competitive in the global market. That of course would also mean that the airline needs to also reasonably remunerate the employees so that at least they continue that, so that they retain the staff that they require, and we enhance the efficiency of service delivery to its customers spread across the world.
And in a posh hotel in central London, Kenya Airways is hosting many engines who have worked closely with the airline. Happy to be in Kenya Airways office this particular afternoon, and great to meet Leah Valaris. This is from where these planes fly to different parts of the globe, and we are so privileged to be here today to talk about Kenya Airways as Kenya Airways celebrates 40 years in service.
I joined in 1978, November, and at that time we had 3 Boeing 707s, and it was a very small airline. And we had our own ground handling in Terminal 3, and it was very exciting to work for Kenya Airways, because I could identify, having been born in Tanzania.
Yeah,
so for me it was very, very important actually to have an identity, which I found working for this airline.
Wow,
yes.
That's a long time. I mean, it's just amazing. And when you look back 1978 and compare that with today, even in terms of the planes that Kenya Airways has.
Oh yes, it's a completely different airline now to what it was. However, it still remains a very friendly airline, and I find that is because of the East African people themselves. They're very, very friendly and very warm. I especially like to mention our crew, which over the years carried the airline, because they reflect the hospitality, which is
and the culture
amazing,
of East
and
Africa.
the culture and the friendliness, especially. People love that. I would like to wish Kenya Airways a very happy 40th birthday, and continue to be the pride of Africa, which is the deserved name for Kenya and for Kenya Airways actually. So yes, that is my legacy for Kenya Airways.
Julia Adams is the station manager at Kenya Airways in London. She joins Taslin Chondri to share their experience at Kenya Airways.
Well, there's no 2 days that are the same in Kenya Airways. I've worked here now for nearly 23 years next month, and I've never come across 2 days that were ever the same. So it's an exciting industry to be in.
Every day is something new.
Always something different, something exciting, and it's never been boring.
Wow, okay. 23 years, pretty long time.
Quite a long time. My other colleagues have been here a lot longer than me. So, we pride ourselves on the longevity that we have in Kenya Airways. We are like we're a great team, and we are like a family. So, and we stick together. So that's the main thing.
And Taz, how long have you been?
It's 28 years in March.
28 years in March.
It will be 28 in March.
You've done well
Yes,
to
extremely.
keep this airline running.
Yes, as Julius said, because
Yeah.
there are no 2 days which are the same.
Yeah.
You have different things on different days. You'd never know what to expect when you come to work.
Yeah.
You come in and you don't know what the day is going to bring with it. So
Wow.
some days it's so smooth that
Yeah.
it's like, you don't even need to be there.
You're like used to, you're doing it the
Yes.
day, you're
Yes.
like, it's already, you know what to do,
Yeah.
it's so predictable, it's
Yeah.
quiet.
And then there's some days when you think it's going to be quiet and it tends to be totally different. So because of that, I think every day is a different, more exciting than the last that we've been as long as we have.
Okay.
Because it's not boring.
It's not boring.
Mm.
And I think, I love not boring because it keeps you going
Yes.
and increases your passion because you're not bored. Now the question is, what stands out? What do you remember when you look at the span of 24 years you've been here? What stands out? A particular experience?
For me, I have learned a lot being at the airport to begin with. I have dealt with a lot of things. I have seen a lot of things that I probably never would have otherwise. I've dealt with tragedy, I've dealt with happy occasions, I've dealt with brides and grooms,
Yeah.
I've dealt with death. So it's,
All
saying,
spheres of life.
Yes, yes. So sometimes there are days you want to cry with the passengers. There are days you joke and you have a laugh. So yeah, a lot of things. I think it gives you a character.
Yeah.
Because of what you see and do.
Okay.
And handle things, I think.
Yeah.
Like during crisis, it's taught me to remain calm, and there are things that I would have never been able to do if I did an office job, maybe.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so it sounds very exacting.
it is.
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis, I think I look forward to coming to work. There hasn't been a day when I feel like, oh my God, I don't want to go to work today.
Wow. Julian, back to you. What stands out in your case?
I think it does.
I know I just imagine maybe just like Taz is talking about.
I think it does
Seen a lot
teach
of
you, from when I joined Kenya Airways in the early days, it does teach you leadership and compassion and integrity, because, as a staff member, you have, you're empowered to make decisions, you have to make those decisions, and some of them are not very nice decisions, but they have to be made. I think that for me, standing out in Kenya Airways, the most exciting time that I had was when I did a presidential flight, and I was only in Kenya Airways, I think less than 2 weeks when we had a presidential flight, and I've never been so excited in my entire life. I've never met a president before,
Wow.
and I didn't realise that I wasn't supposed to put my hand out for him to shake it. And so, I was told afterwards, I just stepped forward and put my hand out, and he came and shook my hand, which I was yes, he did, but I was then told afterwards I shouldn't have done it. And you live and learn, so I remembered for the next presidential flight not to put my hand out.
Or not to smile and say hi.
And not to call him Mr. President either. Because we did.
Yeah.
We said, hello, Mr. President. And it was, I think we were later told His Excellency.
Yeah, they have a title.
And we were together, we did that flight together as well, Taz and I.
We were newbies at that time. We were quite new.
Yeah.
So it was the excitement of things, as I said.
Yeah.
And then, she puts her hand out, and I'm like, hi, Mr. President, kind of thing.
Interesting.
It has been a very long journey. It has its ups and downs, but I have to say Kenya Airways have always given me such great opportunities, and they've allowed me to learn my craft and give me the knowledge that empowers me to be a station manager. And they also gave me the opportunity to work in another outstation as well, Paris and Amsterdam. So they've educated me, and they've taught me to be the leader that I am today, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud for Kenya Airways that it's their birthday and that they've made me part of it. So yeah, I wish Kenya Airways a very happy birthday, and may long it continue. I want to be here well into my retirement, and hopefully they won't retire. So.
I would say happy birthday, Kenya Airways. May there be many more, and I hope I'll be here to see the 50th.
And to mark the historic occasion, staff at Kenya Airways in London, here at Heathrow Airport, prepare to cut the cake.
Happy birthday, Kenya
Airways! Happy birthday to you!
As the English would say, finally, the deed is done. Without a doubt, nothing comes easy. Even in this journey of 40 years, Kenya Airways has gone through challenges too. However, with a great team in place and a passion to be the best, Kenya Airways still remains unstoppable. And as the flights take off, we shall just jump up and catch up with a great future awaiting to turn Kenya Airways into the pride of the sky.